All right, that was Aliens by Blue Helix. Now, please welcome to the phone Sami Chohfi. He is the lead singer of Blue Helix. Sami, how you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for joining us on the phone. We just got done listening to Aliens. Great song. The video for Aliens, I've got to tell you, phenomenal video. How did you get the inspiration for that?
The song inspired me, you know. It's kind of funny. You start writing a script, and then it kind of takes a nature of its own. And it kept evolving into what you saw, you know, as a finished product. I knew that I wanted the scenes that we saw, you know, in the video with the planets.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted it to be a dreamlike situation. But didn't know that it was going to transform into quite the powerful love story that it became. You know, I mean, the song is a love song, you know, but you know, the video become more about loss, you know, losing someone you love, and it translated with the song very well. It gave the song new meaning, you know.
Yeah, it was a great, and it definitely came through on the video. The song itself, a great, very.
The production on it was unbelievable.
Yeah, that blew my mind.
Thank you. Yeah, it took almost 2 years to make that happen, dude.
Really?
I mean, it was. Yeah, guys. Like the biggest hurdle we had was the permits, finding the locations. You know, one of the location with the band where the planets are in the background behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That was actually an Indian reservation, a beach that no one's ever been able to film on. They said no to tons of production teams, and I wrote them a heartfelt story about the song and what it was about, and told them about the script, and they agreed. They liked the song enough, and they gave us permission. It was amazing. But you know, that was actually the easiest part. The biggest hurdle was filming those underwater scenes. That was something that we bit off a lot there. I mean, you have to have so much different. You have to have special lighting. You have to have underwater camera housings. You have to have special lenses. You know, the water gets murky. The actors get cold. I mean, it's a lot of work.
Oh, I
underwater
imagine.
scenes.
Now, did you guys shoot that up in Washington?
Yeah, everything was shot in Washington, 4 different locations. The hospice scenes where you see Jeff, or the actor and the actress, Jeff and Andrea, that is actually my bedroom that we turned into a hospice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then there's Point Granville, which is the beach, on the Quinault Beach, and then there was Deception Pass, which was the one where he's running in the beginning, where he falls off the cliff, and then the pool.
Well, I love the video. The song's amazing. It's a great ballad song, and it's got a lot of power behind it. A little later on, we're going to check out the other song from you, Runaways.
Right on.
It's different sounds, to be honest with you, but they both sound like the same band to me, which is great.
Everyone should check the video out, because Bill told me about the video, and I watched it, and I was so impressed by the production. You're thinking, you know, oh, it's going to be all right, you know, cheesy, but this is a full-out video.
Yeah, definitely. One video of the year in 2016, didn't it?
It did.
That's awesome.
I believe it.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So
it did. It's doing pretty good for us. You know, we're getting a lot of love for it. But, you know, the Runaways is actually the only newer song that we've done in a little while, because I'm actually going to put that song on the new EP. We got a new one called Antisocial Butterfly, and actually that's the title track and the title of the EP. This EP is more of a heavy direction. I want to make sure Blue Helix stays more in the hard rock, you know, up-tempo kind of,
right.
You know, like Runaways.
Yeah.
You know, those ballads that you heard, like Aliens, there's also another one on Tale of Two Halves called Carry Me. I think I'm going to start doing those kinds of songs on like an acoustic kind of singer-songwriter record, you know? That way it kind of keeps cohesive for the fans, you know what I mean? That way, you know, people can recognize what the direction of the band is a little bit more, you know?
Gotcha. And anyone that hasn't seen the video, anyone that hears it, go check on YouTube. It's and online. Is it bluehelixmusic.com?
Yeah.
Yep, and you can get links to everything there. Watch the videos, check out the songs, find them on Twitter. A quick question for you. Now, you're up in Washington. Are you near Seattle? I can't remember exactly where in Washington you are.
Yeah, we're about 45 minutes south of Seattle.
Well, everybody knows Seattle, huge in the 90s, big grunge scene. That's where so many amazing bands come from. What's it like up there now, music-wise? What's the scene?
You know, it's there's a little bit of everything. You know, there's a lot of different kinds of bands. There's not really a scene per se. I think there's a little bit of everything now, kind of like like in Colorado, you know, where you got all sorts of genres, all sorts of styles happening. You know, there's a lot of good camaraderie with the bands out here, though. You know,
That's
we support
good.
each other pretty strong. So
That's good. Now, as a singer, what was your biggest influence growing up as a singer?
oh, Chris Cornell, by far.
Phenomenal singer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Chris Cornell's my guy. You know, Tom York from Radiohead,
Mm-hmm.
Trent Reznor.
Yeah. Okay.
Guys like that. You know, I love the '90s. The entire '90s scene for me is pretty great. You know,
Right.
And lately I've been getting into Queen quite a bit.
Oh.
My wife is a big Queen fan, and we've been listening to a bunch of their records. And gosh, I mean, I was listening to a Queen song, and then all of a sudden I'm starting to sing a Radiohead song. I'm like, oh my God, that's a Radiohead song.
They mixed.
But yeah, Blue Helix. I tell you guys, you know, we've gotten to the point now where things are finally starting to move. We're actually setting up a tour in Brazil.
Oh, nice.
We're going to be going to Brazil early 2018. We're going to be going out there and strutting our stuff. So that'll actually be our first tour. We decided to go to home base.
Well, that's a hell of a way to start right off. Now, are you from Brazil?
Yes, my dad was Brazilian. My wife is actually full Brazilian. But our family's there, and you know, I always told her, I was like, you know, I'd love for the band to start touring there, you know, and get things going. Oh, also my drummer Marco, he's actually Brazilian too. So.
Oh wow! So you guys, you got a heck of a tour coming up in a few months.
Yeah, it's about 6 months away-ish. Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome.
Well,
I'm excited.
I have another question here. Now, I think I know the answer based on your last answer about Chris Cornell, but best band to come out of the 90s?
Soundgarden?
Yeah, see, I figured you would have said that.
I mean, you know, but I have to say also Radiohead and Nine Inch Nails because, I mean, of their live shows, the fact that they've kept it together, the fact that they've gotten, you know, they've stayed great. You know,
yeah.
The best shows I've ever seen was definitely Nine Inch Nails and Radiohead.
Yeah, I have yet to see them. Soundgarden played down here. We're down in Florida, Fort Myers, Florida, and they played. What was it? Maybe a month or so before Chris Cornell passed away.
No, it's like a week.
Maybe, yeah, maybe that might have been right. And I should have went. I did not go. They played a big festival they have down here every year, and I missed it. I've never seen Soundgarden, but that's,
you know, I watched pretty much every live video he's done in the last couple of years. You know, I mean, my wife and I are big fans of his acoustic music, right?
Oh yeah, I've heard him.
Yeah, that's really Chris Cornell to me. If you guys really want to see what his true talent was as a singer, as a songwriter, there's 2 records you should listen to. One of them is his last one, Higher Truth, and the one before that that I love is called Euphoria Morning. Those 2 albums, to me, in my opinion, are better than any Soundgarden record, if you ask me. But, you know, that's just from a songwriter standpoint. I just thought it was brilliant. And then his last song, The Promise, unbelievable. Like the last song he performed and wrote before he passed away. What a message. I mean, you guys, if you haven't heard those records from him, you're not hearing Chris Cornell, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I've heard some of them. I haven't heard I don't think I've heard The Promise, though, to be honest with you.
I never heard it.
I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, and the other song you guys should listen to is Sun Shower. It's an amazing song.
I think I've heard that one. I've heard that one before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with the Blue Helix, what made you get started into music? When did you know this is what you're going to do? This is what you want to do?
I wanted to do it when I was about 15. I was watching MTV and I saw this video called "Smells Like Teen Spirit," and then I was just like, "Man, I want to do that." And then I just started learning how to play guitar. Never thought I was going to sing, and becoming a singer had to happen because I couldn't find the singer that I wanted, you know, and
right.
So I was like, you know what, I'm going to learn, and hopefully it doesn't suck too bad.
That happens a lot. I've heard that a lot, and that's how Mick started playing drums years ago. You were playing guitar, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they couldn't find a good guitar or drummer, so he's like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Every drummer we had, everyone was alcoholic. They were always drunk, so I just sat behind a drum set and I picked it up pretty naturally.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Sammy.
Yeah, what's up?
Since you've been in a band, what would you say would be the biggest struggle? Like, is it finding band members, finding a place to jam? What would be your biggest struggle being in a band?
It's a combination of things. Honestly, finding band members has been my biggest hurdle. Finding guys that I could trust, guys that want to tour, guys that believe in you and what you're doing, right? And guys that you can trust. I've been back and forth with so many bandmates in the last couple years. We just I just reunited with the first original bass player and guitar player that was in Blue Helix in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's happening, which is cool because, I came around full circle realizing, man, I need to play with guys that are brothers. Because if you just get guys who are either for hire or guys who are filling in, they're not there for the long haul. And not only that, they don't give a crap about what you're doing and what your goals are. If your band breaks, you can get anybody to play with you. But that's still not the same. You're not having fun on stage with these people,
I like this guy. That's so true. The bands that we were in, I always just wanted to be in a band with a bunch of friends.
That's the best way to go, dude. Look, if I can't make it work with these guys, it's frustrating, because these are the guys that I want to play with, right? And you have to, in a band, there's the other hard factors is the compromise. You can't, I'm kind of hard to work with because I like things a certain way, and I run a tight ship with the band, But over time, I've kind of loosened that up a little bit. I'm like, I like to hear their ideas, and I like to try to collaborate with everybody and make everyone happy. And it's hard sometimes when you have a vision of what you want things to be like and sound like. That's why a lot of bands break up. It really is.
Yeah.
But I would say another really hard thing, guys, is in Seattle is finding good venues because most of them are very pay to play, right? Where you have to have to not only have to sell tickets to a show for $15 a piece, but a lot of venues only let you keep $1 or $2 or $3 even of those ticket prices, and then you bring 100, 150 people to their bar and make them a couple grand, and you're walking away with $200 after you sold all these tickets. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, that would be.
Not all venues, but a good amount of venues. They want like $1,000 room fee, or they want you to cover. Not only bring a bunch of people to their venue to spend money at their bar that otherwise would have not been there, but actually take money from the money that you're bringing in for just the people being there.
And it's pretty
rough. And the reason why I like that is because bands are willing to do it.
Right. And that's just tough for kids for them to show up at your show and spend $15 to go to a show.
It is tough, especially when you can, go see Alice in Chains for $40.
Right.
I mean, it's tough, and it's really hard to get people to come out consistently. That's why Blue Helix doesn't play local shows all that often. Like playing once a week or twice a month is even overkill because people don't go.
Yeah.
Because they know they can see you anytime. So if you spread them out, the idea hopefully is to get them to want to come out more often because they know they're not going to see you all the time.
Yeah, definitely. And down here, we have a lot of bands that they'll play all the time, but the people want to see like a lot of cover bands, which is great, and they'll fill the place with them. But there's not a lot of original music right now.
That's still everywhere, guys.
Is it?
Everywhere's the same way with covers. That's what brings people in. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Bands.
Maya,
when we go to Brazil and to tour, we're going to have to play some covers.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, you got to get people to listen for sure.
Exactly.
It's going to be interesting to see what the response to the crowd because you're in a different country.
Yeah, it's a whole different world. That's for sure.
I think that's the idea, right? Is getting a new audience, new crowd. Getting new blood, right?
Yeah, definitely.
New
more eyes checking you out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Maya's quiet over there. You have any questions for Sammy, Maya?
Yeah, I want to know a crazy road story.
Oh,
ooh, geez.
I want the fun stuff.
There we go.
Any crazy stories from shows or on the road?
We were out away from home base, and there was this one bar where people were rocking out and everyone was having a good time, and all of a sudden, everyone that was watching us kind of started shuffling into the bar because this guy started attacking this dude, knocked him clear out, one punch.
Oh, damn.
And the bartender and the owner were all crazy. Everyone was screaming. Everyone was freaking out. And funny enough, that bar closed down a month later.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
But yeah, I was nuts. That was the first time that ever happened. I was like, did our music make violence?
You caused a riot, man. That's it could be good. It could have been, it depends.
Goodness gracious. They weren't listening to Aliens.
Hey, still a phenomenal song, though. I do love that song. It's got a lot of commercial appeal, and it's got a good sound to it, which is great.
I can't wait for you guys to hear Antisocial Butterfly, man. That's